Hey guys, I'm Evan and this is Magnolias in Sunlight, and today is day 17 of DIY or Die, my series where we make a Halloween inspired DIY project every day in the month of October. And I can't believe we're on day 17. I feel like I've said that every day this week, but it just really, they're going by really fast. And I'm going to hit you today with an easy project. I feel like some of our projects this last week have been a little more intensive, lots of small parts. So honestly, if you buy the 3 things you need to make this project pre-made, it's a 5-minute project. I've talked to some friends and there's a few people out there who I get want to have the cute DIY aesthetic, but maybe don't want to spend hours at a DIY table. And I understand that. I am not one of you, but I totally understand that. So today, all you're gonna have to pick up is a fan. So I went with a crochet cream fan, and we're going to make a cute little spider web that sits in the corner of our doorways or of like a hallway, wherever you want to stick it. You just need a corner. I suppose you could do a flat, but it's gonna, no, we need a corner. Pick a corner, it's cuter. And then if you want to do the pre-bought easy 5-minute version, some pre-made little spiders. These ones are from Michaels. I will link all of these things down below. These ones we're just going to attach with some matching thread directly to the fan. I was also thinking you could go black lace if you want a little more spooky vibes, but this is really for that cottage core aesthetic that I talked about in my intro video. So we're going with this beautiful crochet version. And then we're just gonna hit it with some command strips, throw it up in the corner, and it's gonna look so cute. So simple, so easy. If you wanna dive in a little deeper with me, we're also gonna make our own beaded spiders so that I can show you how to do that. And then you can make whatever color, whatever texture. The limit is whatever beads you can find, basically. So let's dive in with these 2 quick projects, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this one. Okay, so to start out our 5-minute version, and I will time this and see how long this takes, we're gonna lay out our fan the way you're going to hang it. So this is our ceiling and this is our wall or your door jamb. This is the top and this is the side. And then we have our little spiders. Again, these are just from the floral section at Michaels. We will make our own momentarily. So to attach our spiders, I'm going to use a cream thread that matches our crochet. If you're doing a black lace fan or whatever version that you have in your costume closet or from your summer vacations, this is something where you can cut these off. So if you want to use a fan you already have, use it for the holiday, like for Halloween, you can also cut these off and then still have your fan. This is not going to be something that is like a forever thing unless you glue them, and that is totally up to you. But I'm gonna sew these on so that I have the option to cut them off and use this fan later on. So cream thread, I am doubling my thread up so that we can get a chunkier knot on the end and also a little extra sturdiness. And then these are just made out of styrofoam. So you're gonna push your needle through the back of your spider until your knot catches. And then I'm gonna scoot this up and we're gonna find where we want our spider. This one's going to like be dropping down from the web. And we're just gonna tie a knot, a very like light knot right on the edge. So I'm trying to keep in mind, I don't want it to be, it's cool the further it goes, but I also don't want it to dangle down too much because this is gonna go in a doorway and I don't want people, knocking their heads into it. That's not great for our guests, nor is it good for the, survival of my project. I think it would be technically fine because we're sewing them on securely, but I don't want my projects getting broken. So we're just going to only dangle this one down about 3.5 inches. Nice double knot. Throw in an extra one for good luck. And that is 1 spider attached. We're at 2 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm telling you, 5-minute project. That was with me explaining and talking. This might be a 3-minute project if you just sit down and do it. All right, so this one I'm going to attach up here like she's crawling across her web. So I want that to be a little more secure. I'm gonna go all the way through the body of the spider until that knot catches. And then I'm gonna use one of these bamboo bars to be the part that we sew around, just to give this spider a little bit more stability. So I'm going under the bar, unwrap her leg, and then I'm gonna go back through the spider, trying to keep my needle pretty low so that you're not gonna see these stitches too much. And then go back under the bar one more time. Make sure all of these loops are nice and tight. That needle came out a little further than I wanted it to. And then we're just gonna, again, tie it off. And I can't see that, so. Tighten up your loops. Some of those were a little loose. And tie a knot. Cut your thread. And there we have it, guys. A very cute double spider web in 4 minutes and 53 seconds. So I told you, under 5 minutes. But if this is a little too easy for you and you want green spiders or pink spiders or whatever your heart desires, pearl spiders maybe, that could be cute, I'm going to show you how to make some beaded spiders right now. So for your spider project, you're going to need, obviously, some beads. So I have lots of options. Most of these, actually, this whole box is from the thrift store. It came attached to another box of beads, which is the ones that I actually wanted. But I was thinking these, which I will probably never use for anything else, could be really cool as like this part of the spider. There's purple ones, which is not my vibe, but also could be cute. Red ones, we could do like some Black Widow inspired spiders, but I'm gonna pull these out. And then I was at the thrift store recently and I found a new thrift store for me, and I found this entire bag of jewelry making supplies for $7. A lot of this is LPN things. There's some camels in here, lots of bicycles, lots of charms in that bag. But we have some of these cool beads, and I thought this purple could be really pretty for a spider. And we have these eye pins, which is really what we need. Ooh, those could be good too. Very similar vibe, but I like this color better. Then we have some brown, like, those are like almost like little coconut beads. So let's start with that. So you're gonna need some eye pins for sure, and some metal jewelry making wire to make the legs. I'm using this brassy one because it's not a color that I usually like in my jewelry making. So I figured I would donate it to the cause. Okay, so I've been playing with some things to make sure I like how this works before I share it with you, because I don't wanna like re-explain things 1,000 times. And I'm glad I did that, because after playing with it, it was definitely a learning curve figuring out how I like to bead these. So we're gonna make a pearl spider first, because I think that goes with our crochet really well. I'm also gonna make a spider in this color palette. This is its body. So this is what we're gonna make first. But I'll show you, I'm gonna make 3 or 4 and I'll show you them all at the end, just because this is fun. We're gonna take our little pin with a stopper on the end. These usually have a loop or a flat head. This one is the flat version. And my hole for my bead is a little bit bigger than that flat bit. So I'm gonna put one bead in place just to hold it. And we're gonna go backwards. So we're gonna do the head here and then the body, because I want the loop on this end, as you can see. In case you want to dangle it, the string needs to come out of the base, I think. Isn't that how spiders work? I guess they crawl back up. But for the purpose of this video, that's what we're sticking with. So I'm gonna do a double purl. So we're gonna do the head and then the body, and then I'm gonna sandwich it with another gold bead just in case, except that one doesn't fit, so we're not going to use that one. Okay, and now we're going to make a loop. This makes it that you could basically use it as a charm if you wanted to. You could hang it on jewelry. You can hang it on our fan. You could do a lot of things with these cool little beaded spiders. Once you make them, they're kind of fun to just make in different variations, and then your options are kind of limitless, whatever you want to do with them. You'll have a bunch of little spider charms, and then we're going to cut off the excess. So that's our body. And now for the legs. This is the part that I like to try and save material. So this is the part that I struggled with, because I made some little stumpy legs for our prototype, and we want these to be long and like spindly and spider-like, elegant, if you will. So I'm going to make them about that long, because you also need space for looping them and tying off the little feet. So you end up using some wire for, like, I don't know, the building purposes of it. And this is, I have a ruler. So you're going to cut legs that are about 4 3/4 inches long. At least that's what I'm going to do. And if we have to trim them at the end, that's okay. I just have to keep telling myself it's not a waste of material, because we want this to look cool and fun and not like we cheaped out and tried to save material. So we're gonna get, like I said, 4 of these. Okay. Now you're gonna get them all together, and you're gonna take your little spider body and you're gonna find the center. So I like to fold them up a little bit just so I can kind of make sure that I'm as close to center as possible, and adjust. And then you're gonna fold over and pull really, really tight. And now you can spread them out. And they will kind of like have an order in which they folded over. So try not to cross them, just see where they're naturally gonna fall. And now, honestly, that's stunning. You could leave it that like that and just be happy, or at least I could. But we're gonna go ahead and bead those little legs. Look, it stands. Oh, it's too cute. Okay, so for this one, we have some pearls in here. We have lots of these gold beads. We have lots of the tiny gold beads, which is a vintage Michaels tube. I think, can you see that? Isn't that fun? Like the little vintage Michaels. This whole thing of beads was 29 cents. So we have these that I picked up either thrifting or an estate sale. A lot of these beads came from the thrift store, not the ones on the top. These are obviously Michaels. But I pick up boxes of beads whenever I see them at the thrift or at estate sales, because, you know, they're just unique and you can't get them like that anymore. So we also have in this box over here some pink, and I think this might be the move for this one. I think that's really pretty. So we're going to use a bunch of those, and then I have the white if we need them. That's a necklace that broke that I've never fixed, and I think, I don't know, iridescent white seed beads. We'll get those out too, just in case. And then you can see here, I'm putting each project on one of these little glass teacup saucers. That tends to be something that I like to do. I grab these at the thrift whenever I see them. They're usually like 50 cents. And then I can just open my beads and pour them in. Some of those bounced a little further than I expected. But it keeps all of our beads in one little place. I also mix paint on them. I don't really host that many tea parties. And if I do, I have more decorative plates. But these little plates work great as plant saucers or as bead holders. So I'm going to go ahead and bead all of these. It's nice to start closer to the body with a smaller bead. You're just going to like not have as much gapping. So I'm going to do 3 or 4 of these really small pink beads per leg. That one didn't go on. And get to see it goes right up into that little gap. And then maybe one of these faceted pink ones. And then just continue that all the way down. So I will come back to you when I have some more of these, maybe this side all done. Okay, so we have finished beading this one leg. So we're gonna take the end in our pliers and we're gonna wrap it up in a coil. And then that's our little foot. And it'll keep all of our beads on. And now you have a cool leg that you can like, I don't know, put however you want. I went ahead and did 4 and then a round iridescent bead and then some seed beads, another faceted, and just kept that going. And then I ended with the little ones. So this on here, isn't that beautiful? Like how fun is that in your house? And it's so much better, I think, than the store-bought ones, but I get the ease of the store-bought ones. Additionally, I was thinking, sorry about my dog, I don't know what she's upset about right now, but additionally, I was thinking you could do this in your closet and put brooches on something like this. If you have like Halloween brooches, that would be such a cute way to display them for the holiday. So just a thought. I'm gonna go ahead and finish beading all of these legs and I'll see you in a minute. Isn't that just so cute? The wire did break on this arm, so it has one little stumpy arm, but that's just because I'm using cheap wire and I didn't want to redo the whole thing because it was already looking so good. So we love her anyway with her one little stumpy arm. So I wanted to show you, once you're done with the beading, I like to lay the legs out, and obviously they're bendable, so you can bend them as many times as you want, but then just kind of give it a little fold. And I find that that's like giving me the shape that I like when I turn it back around. Isn't that one cute? Guys, these are so cute. They're basically like, I don't know, I feel like they're jewelry. Like I feel like we might be changing this project a little bit because these are too cute. Okay, stand by. So I have our 3 and I have another one that I'm working on. But what if we make them brooches? Because then we can hang them and display them on our lace fan in our, like, I don't know, I put it on a bookshelf, I'll show you in a second. But then we can take them off and attach them to a lapel. And these are left over from the other project we did. They're a little long. In like a perfect world, I would have one that isn't, oh, this is 1 1/4 inches. But let's just see if we can glue these on for the holiday season. Again, you could attach this to a necklace. They could be earrings. These could never go in my hair. They would never come out. They would just live there. So that's not an option for me. But a brooch all over like a tweedy blazer, I love it. So I'm just using a command strip because this is very lightweight. And obviously I don't personally want to put a hole in my wall just for a Halloween project, we'll take down wall art and replace for the holidays, but I don't want to put a dedicated hole in my door jamb just for this project. So I'm gonna hold those in place for the allotted time, and then we'll go hang this. Okay guys, so this project took a little bit of a turn today, and I am not mad at it. We did make the thing that we intended to make. You will see it in the reveal, but we're also gonna make something for my extra super duper cottagecore loving girlies, and I need a solid surface to work on. I got beads and stuff everywhere. It was one of those craft days. So we're gonna take our felt that we've been using all week, and we're just gonna cut out a circle that is wide enough to fit our brooch. This is the part where we go from spider to extra super duper girly, because we're going to turn this into a web for this spider that I just made. And oh my gosh, the sun is doing terrible things. I'm hoping you can see this well. We have some beautiful floral beads, gold legs. She is going to perch on her web on a brooch. It's not fall, this is very springy, but you know what? If you want to wear pastels in the fall, you do you. This would look cute on a quilted jacket, on the lapel of a quilted jacket. You know, honestly, it's not my style, but I think someone out there will love it, and I'm loving making it, and so that's what matters here. We're going to assemble this with a needle and thread, because again, I don't want to ruin this piece of vintage linen. I love it, and while I might not wear this all the time, it's fun for now, and then I can disassemble it and do it later. It's like a little, I don't know, it kind of looks like a spider on a web, but it also looks like a spider on a cute little flower. And also, I apologize. Hopefully the sun in this clip is not doing crazy things. The fall sun is definitely hitting. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tie this off. So we're just going up through one side of the felt on one side of the brooch pin and making a knot so that it's really secure. And then we're going to go back through as close to the middle on this side as possible. Perfect. And then we're going to do the same thing on this. I'm putting the felt backing on just to give this a little bit more support and so that we can glue our pin to it. So now we're going to go up on the right outside of the center of this one. Okay, just checking everything is in line, and that came up right under the seam. So I'm actually going to go up through that so it's flat. Perfect. So that's where we're at. So now this is tacked to this, not quite tacked, but it's in place. And now we're going to put our spider in the middle, and we're going to go over through the legs, back through all 3 layers, coming back out center of the felt on this side. And then we're going to go back up. It got caught on the leg here, so make sure our thread goes right down that middle bit. And it will almost completely disappear. And then because our legs are wired, obviously you can zhuzh those and play with them. And I'm gonna do this another time because this is a heavy piece. So we're gonna come up from underneath, right near the legs, in between. Come on, there we go. And then right back over. I like to angle kind of downwards when I'm doing this so that it really does hide the thread. Now we can spin this. Oh, I didn't think about that. My bad. that's an easy fix. We're just going to wiggle that off and go under the needle and then tighten everything back up. Silly me, I should have thought about that. And now we're just going to tie a knot here. And the reality is, because we're just kind of placing them on here, you don't even have to close the pin. And that way when you want to grab one for your outfit or for something else, I don't know. I'm going to wear these on my jacket later this week. You can just unhook them basically. We're just hooking them in. These are so good, especially these two. I'm in love. And I just threw them on this thrifted jacket that I just picked up. It is a men's handmade blazer from Georgetown, and I love it, but it was meant for a different DIY project for winter, which I will share with you guys in November when we're not doing all of the Halloween stuff. But how fun are these? Now they're multi-purpose. We can hang them on our lace fan and have them as home decor, or we can put them on our jackets and wear them out and about for a fun, spooky night out. And honestly, this one especially, that might be a year-round accessory. It is just, it's so cute. And I am gonna go make more of these now, I think. This is just, it's an easy, fun, cool project. And they all turn out so unique and so cool. And if I didn't have, I don't know, 17 more days of projects for Halloween, this is what I would be making. But I have so much more coming at you, so check back tomorrow for day 18. And I'll see you then. Bye.